So I just uploaded a video of me getting to this point right now, but it was like half through the video, so I'm gonna play through this and then I'm gonna like just talk a little bit, and then I'm gonna try to add stuff to So one thing that I've noticed is that like the 808 pattern can be different now. That's one thing that I always notice. And when I think that the 808 pattern can be different within the project that I was recently just working on, then I try to just actually just change the 808 pattern like in the middle of the song or something like that, for like some type of flow switch or something. So it's just like I can keep the first one that I thought of because I think it's good enough, and I can still think of like a better one. And I think it's a matter of like how many times you even do that, right? Because you don't hear many 808 switches in like a lot of songs. You hear different 808 patterns, but like you don't hear it switch up too much. You know what I mean? Like, and the thing is, I haven't listened too much to it too. Like Moneybagg Yo flow switches, I don't know if that's the 808 switch ups or whatever. I can't think about it. But I think even Metro Boomin, he puts like 808 switch ups in his beat, right, when Future raps on him or something like that. But it's just like, it just made me think that like maybe it's a little bit too much 808 in there, but I think it's still like a good amount. At the same time, it's like I also want to put like more sounds in here because it's just like, this is like the intro, I suppose, and I still want to put more stuff in. There's no transition, because I really didn't even get to that point yet. I never even really worked on transitions, and like this is the part where I think is nice, right? But I think I can add some percussions in the beginning of it, some little ambient reverb percussions to set some sort of like mood. Is because like, let's listen through it again. Just so we turn it up so you guys can hear the monkeys, all right? I think that like all three of these sounds just set a mood, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I think that's important for a beat. Like, if you're not good at making your own chords or anything like that, like if you can find sounds that you can put together, there you go, you know? But the thing is, like, I have a problem with simplicity. I like to make things a little bit more complex than they have to be, and then I like to mix it all together. And the thing is, I spent a lot of time mixing the past like year or so, even before that. So it's just like, now I think I should probably get to the point where I can take things and mix it together, hopefully make it sound good. But it's just like, that's the part where I need to practice on too now, putting these things together to make it sound good in terms of arrangement and stuff like that. But I can at least share my thought process. So it's just like this, when I want to set some sort of tone or thing, for me, I like space, ambience almost, you know what I mean? So like, I feel like, let's listen through it again. It's because, first of all, I'm gonna say buying master classes are a scam. They have to be, because I bought one just because I had like a couple dollars. No, they don't actually teach like the thought process, you feel me? So it's just like, I don't know, I'm just gonna do it in this video, and even though I'm not a master. So this is just a synth. I forgot what I even looked at. It's Splice, you feel me? I forgot what I did. But the flute and monkeys, I think that like, when you want to add this tone or something like that, it has to be vocals, some sort of like woodwind, which would be like a flute, piccolo, blah blah blah. And the monkeys is just like, I forgot what that was. It says it's a synth loop, it's whatever, right? But it can't be anything to add it, like accents and stuff like that, and textures, right? I don't have any textures, but I could go to Splice and look up textures, and it'll even add a little bit more sound to it. I do think I have like a texture in here somewhere. Maybe I have rain. You know what I'm saying? I have this. I don't know if it's gonna sound good, but we can put it in there. And it's important because like maybe to also put like a lot of like neutral sounding sounds when you put samples together. Like the main sound is this D minor right here, right? But like even though this flute says it's an F minor, the thing is just like maybe D minor and F minor harmonize, they synchronize, they come together. It makes sense when they're together, you know what I mean? Because I didn't do anything to this flute. When I put it in here, I made sure I got it off a resample. I put it on stretch so it sounded like its original sound, all right? But I was also able to stretch it out while I put it on its original sound. That's important. And it just put together, and it just matched, all right? But basically, in my opinion, it's because it can easily just be like a background sound, all right? Of course, if it was like somewhere ridiculous, like down here on some weird pitch, it might not make sense. And you want to know the craziest thing? It made sense, right? Because it's like background noise. It's almost neutral. Like all of this up here, the first, like this is what you hear. Track 1, that's in D minor. Like I can change the pitch of this again and it'll be perfectly fine for me to just bass. It'll be perfectly fine. Do you hear that? So like these flutes, these woodwinds, and like a couple other things, it really doesn't matter what key it's in the pitch in, right? It's like whatever your fundamental sound is, and it's what that synth is right there, okay? But I'm gonna keep it back in that one. Actually, I like that when it went down, so I might mess around with it later in it. But it's just like in the Monkees, right? This isn't an instrument. There's no chords being played here. This is just a sound. You know what I mean? So it's just like I think I want to actually turn the pitch back down. I'm not gonna lie. You know? So when you do grab samples, it's just like, well, that's in C minor. Right, that doesn't make any. It doesn't match up anything else with that. But look at that. You know what I mean? But what's important is the 808 that I have here. Guess what? What key is that? That's G sharp. That's in D sharp. Right, D sharp minor. Right, just like the synth appears in D sharp minor, because that's the main thing. I like to add a 3-step. I might bum. You feel me? I like that little pattern right there, but I might worry about that later. But anyway, there you go. So like when I put this perk in here, I'm not really worried about what key it's in, because look at that, there's not even a key. I just don't think it's actually gonna sound right, because I forgot what it was. But you know, that's the thought process for real. You know what I mean? If you guys can just remember what I said, there's nothing crazy about it. Like you're just putting sounds together that are like just neutral. They just work together with each other. You know what I mean? Like you are setting up an environment for the artist to walk into. He's not walking into a studio, you know? And even though I've never had an artist walk into anything that I have. I don't even have a studio, bro. Like he's walking into an environment that you're setting up type shit, you know? Even though I'd rather be the artist. What the fuck, right? I'm trying to be the artist. I'm trying to be everything. This perk's on fire. The thing is like how I like to add things as well is slowly add things, right? So this is important because you can also look at this in terms of like what the pattern is. Like I'm not putting it 3 little rectangles off. I'm putting it 2 rectangles, right? The next sound comes in 4 rectangles. The next sound comes in 8 rectangles, not 7, 8, right? Like you might not think that matters. Sometimes it depends on when the sample starts and how the sample builds up to stuff. That's important, but it's just like you want to add stuff off, set it, okay, but also on beat. All right, 4, 2, and 8 are on beat. 7 isn't on beat. Right, you have to understand, like when you put on the metronome, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 1, 4, 1. That's right. Another sound. Boom. There you go. Easy as that. Right. I'm not saying it couldn't work if you put it on like a off beat or anything like that, but it's just like maybe introduce sounds on like on different type of blocks, right? I'm not saying it that way, just because that's the way you're seeing it. It has to be the easiest way to understand it. You know what I mean? I think maybe not. I don't know. I'm not that good at teaching. That's just my thought process. All right? It's not like I made some fire here. That being said, because that's what I kind of did with this up here, the flute stuff. It's like, you know, then you have to start chopping it up. You know what I mean? Like, because the whole thing is like 8 bars or whatever. I don't know. I don't know. Because I'm playing it from the beginning on the end. So think about this. I'm playing the beginning of this on the end of that, right? On the end of this top part, or the other second half of this top part. Here, let me actually just. I'm playing the first half of this loop, okay, on the second half of this loop up here, as you can see when I minimize it. Okay, so it's just like you want this to kind of maybe most likely repeat again and then stretch it out to the second half comes back out. You know what I mean? But it just depends how it sounds when you download it, or you know how it is. You know, I promise you, it almost feels as if like no one tells you this stuff. I didn't hear this stuff. Gotta figure this shit out myself, bro. Like, and no one's gonna watch this shit, so it doesn't even matter. But this is such a basic percussion, I don't think it really matters. Well, it does say percussion texture. You know, this might be the only texture I have in here. And one thing that I have to kind of figure out is like, when do I add and subtract these textures in order to like make it sound as quiet or empty or not? Because that's something that I've tried to figure out. Like, when I go to arrange for stuff, it's like, well, what can I take away and what can I not? The flute sounds nice. I like the flute. And it's like, I don't want to take it away completely ever. So it's like, do I have it turned down the whole way through? Do I have it panned to the side or something like that? So now my next thought process is, well, if I want all these melodies and sounds to play together, well, do I start side chaining them? Right? Think about that. You've only heard of side chaining when it comes to the kick and the bass. I forgot that you could side chain melodies and other sounds when other sounds start playing. You know what I mean? So it's just like, you know, maybe that's not that important. You know, but like I said, I work on a lot of mixing, and that's one thing I haven't like even touched upon yet. But it's just like, maybe that's extra. Maybe it is just levels and panning and stuff like that. But I think when you just have a lot of sounds, it's just like, how much can you level? How much can you pan? Right? Even though the human ear can like differentiate from all these different sounds, it's just be like, whoa. At certain times, it's like, well, yeah, some sounds need to really be up front, need to be behind, need to be over there and over there. That's the stereo image, basically. That's what the stereo image is. Maybe what some people know what a stereo imager is like putting a stereo imager on your master channel. That's what I like to do. That's what I used to do a lot, until I realized it was messing up the percussions. Right, all the percussions would just go to like the left side and stuff like that. So it's just like, let's hear it. I don't hear really much of I do hear a difference. These percussions are going down, they're panned out. Definitely a difference. Maybe it was easier to hear on headphones, and I actually like that. And it's just like, it's like I would route these all to like a stereo imagery, to be honest. That actually sounds kind of nice. Not gonna lie. I like that. I thought these were all in tracks. Oh no, just the second one. Not even the second one. I don't even. Oh yeah, it is. But nah. So yeah, there you go. But like, when it comes to this part right here, it's like, alright, now I have some sounds. This is like the chorus, I suppose. When it gets to the verse, it's like, which would be after this, I don't really want to take anything away. You know, I don't really think this is even a lot to begin with, because simplicity is key, right? Simple mind says, okay, add a piano. No, it's just not right. But if I add another texture or with accent, I feel like I should have introduced that earlier in the beat. Basically, it's like, you know, I don't want to introduce it too abruptly. That's just me personally, but you can do that. It's just like, maybe I want to have them hear it like something up here, and then they're waiting for it this whole time again. Comes to the chorus, it never comes, but the verse, it comes again. You know what I mean? So like, maybe let's try that. Let's hear something that sounds good in the intro, and then will also sound good in like a verse. I would have to play the intro through again a couple times. And that's just, this is me just trying to figure my own process out, to be honest. Like, no one teaches this stuff. You just got to kind of watch other people and be like, I wonder what they're thinking. You know what I mean? Like, come on now. Just put this in there. You hear my stomach growling? That's just something super slight. Kind of another one right there. That's not the sound what I was talking about, but I could do that what I just said. Oh, I think I want it introduced later. Let's just follow what I was talking about, introducing sounds slowly like I kind of want a different type of percussion here, like trust that the percussion texture has something close to this, excuse me, conga. So then, because maybe I want this to actually come back later on when the verse comes, so I'll just put in maybe something else here now again. Something a little different. Maybe I'll put the end of this right here. That's just a little something that I want to repeat. Going on a little bit maybe, then have it stop. Even though I said I wanted that to come on when the verse comes in, but I don't. The thing is, like, so like the first 8 still intro, so I have a lot of intro to be honest. But even though I don't like to cut off stuff as soon as the next thing comes on, because it sounds too abrupt. You know what I mean? Much how you didn't just like randomly put all the sounds at the beginning of your song, you know, that'd be too abrupt. You gradually introduce them, you gradually take them away, is what I would believe, if from what I have come across in my practices, I suppose. I feel like I want something else though, like probably won't find a vocal that fits what I just hummed out, so it's like I could make it myself. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just gotta put on what you think is gonna sound good. You hum it out. If you like that. Let me see. I don't have Omnisphere, so I gotta use the garbage vocals. Yeah, I said it. Expand, garbage vocals. Unless you put some reverb on it. I could just record my own vocal in here, right? I go, right? That's how you really got it, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna try it. Let's see what happens if I mute my mic. Alright, we believe this shit better not be titty. It's probably gonna be titty, bro. It's fine. It's fine if it's titty. Can't hear it. Can't hear it. Let me see what's up. Shit seems like big for no reason. Insert into like I know how to use compressor like a master. I'm just trying to maybe have it be consistent.